All right, NFL Week 3 first look. It is a Wednesday morning. I was expecting the ETR projections to be out. Sometimes they come out in the morning. I'm going to have to wait a couple more hours on that. So this video is going to be short and sweet. There's not that much value, I think, looking at this stuff without projections and without ownership. So much of the game is obviously getting in highly projected players and then having kind of like an idea, a story, being intelligent about, playing chalk, fading chalk, leveraging chalk, um, you know, playing a lineup that makes sense, that has good EV for the contest that you're in. I don't have access to the sims anymore. I may actually add them back to start simulating a couple. I think that'd be interesting. But I'm just gonna run through game by game real quick, just talk about, I guess, like players that I like, and then maybe kind of speculate on ownership. I do think I have a decent grasp on ownership, but as far as like constructing a lineup that projects well and then thinking about like pivots, that'll be in the later video. I may make another one tonight as soon as these projections come out, but I'll try my best here. So game by game, I actually thought it was Ravens at Colts. I'm going to check that right now because it kind of makes a difference if it's in a dome or not. But it's looking like it's actually at Baltimore. Sorry about that. Okay, so Indy at Baltimore. I guess this means it may rain. I'm not sure what that. Yeah, okay, it may rain. I think Anthony Richardson's amazing. I think Pittman's amazing. Zach Moss had literally every running back snap, played 56 of 57 snaps last week. I think Odell's playing, but I don't really like the Ravens pass catchers. It's a little bit muddy with Bateman and Aguilar and Andrews back. I guess I still like Zay the most. And then that backfield's like pretty split as well. But I like the Indy side. I like Pitt. I like A-Rich. I don't think I would stack this game. I guess I can pull the totals up as well. That would help. So let's pull the totals up. All right, next game, Tennessee at Cleveland. Tennessee has really good run defense. And even though I think Jerome Ford is 4,400, let me confirm. Did I just pass him? 4,800. Yeah, I mean, that's still going to probably project as the highest points per dollar play in this slate, but this is a 39.5 total. And as much as good as Burks looked, he had like 3 catches or something. So yeah, don't really like this game at all. Definitely not stacking this game. It's going to be a slog. Pace is going to be way down. I don't think playing a highly owned 4,800 Ford's that bad though, and I don't think you really. It's going to be hard to gain on the field by fading him, and I think that I think there's not much risk in playing him. I think the floor is quite high, even though Tennessee has a good run defense. Atlanta at Detroit in a dome with a 46.5 total. Detroit favored by 3 at home. It looks like Amon-Ra may be playing with a foot to toe injury. Was hearing that he may have like a steel plate put in. I don't know if that's actually true. It seems like he's going to be a go. Yeah, cramping's definitely not what it was. Let's do all. Let's just do game by game, I guess. So yeah, they only bumped his price $100. Gibbs is probably going to be one of the most talked about pieces on the slate. So it seems like Montgomery's trending out, but he has a chance to play. And if he's out, what is Craig Reynolds here? 4,400. Who like annoyingly played a bunch of snaps last week. I like Gibbs. I don't know if like the stack guys are gonna like him, and if they don't, that makes me like him more. They just won't raise Drake London's price, and the Falcons, like, I think there's a couple of tier differences in the, like, you know, top 3 teams and then top 5 teams and top 10 teams. As long as Atlanta's not playing like the upper maybe 25% of the league, I think they're going to be okay, like just slogging it out, running it, like keeping the game within 1 to 2 scores. But like they mostly suck, I think, and are going to get like boat raced by some of the better offenses and are going to need to throw more, I think. But so I actually don't hate London. But yeah, I think Gibbs is a one-off here is pretty interesting. And let's see what Reynolds' price is if Amon-Ra misses. So he got bumped a little bit. Okay, game's less interesting than I thought it was going to be. Next, we have the Saints at the highest quarterback rating, Jordan Love, in the league. And it looks like the Packers are favored by 2. I mean, Derek Carr is terrible. I don't think Aaron Jones is going to play. I think Christian Watson will play, and he is someone who I would have interest in playing at 5,900. I'm going to wait and see on this one's too hard for me to kind of prognosticate without projections. And we're waiting on a bunch of injury news here. I don't even really like Olave that much. Like Michael Thomas had like 6 catches in the first half. Like, what are we doing here? I think he needs like a Michael Thomas injury to really elevate. That's just my ball opinion. This is probably going to be one of the most popular games on the slate. Definitely a top 3. We have Texans 10-point dogs. That line move 10-point dogs to the Jags. 43.5 total. So the total's not insane. ETN, I already know, is my flag plant right here. 6,900. He had cramps last week, so he came out of the game. This is like my theory when like a good team, good offense loses, then the next week they go a little bit run heavier. We just saw it play out with Pacheco. We saw it play out with James Cook. Pacheco got tackled on the 1. Like a madman. And man, people are going crazy for these Texans receivers. We got Tank Dell coming off 10 targets. He's 3,600. I think people were worried that Mechie was going to play a lot of snaps. He played like 10 snaps. And then Nico Collins. Let's see if his price is still in the 4s. It is not. It's 5,300. I mean, let's see him. Stroud's throwing the ball 44 and 47 times, which first of all, that's what they should be doing to give themselves the best chance to win the game. But new coach, who I think strikes me as like an old school run heavy coach, has to be losing his mind. I think this like regresses back. I think they're going to try to just lose games more and run the ball more, but then like not have the excuse of, well, we were passing it too much. I don't know. I think the coaches are going to just mess this up here, but Stroud's apparently not terrible and putting up, let's see, 25 fantasy points last week. It's pretty impressive. Was a lot of it in garbage time? Probably. What about their tight end? I think Evan Ingram's always in play. I wish his price would come down a little bit. He has 8 targets and 5 targets. He's just attached to a top 6 offense with a really good quarterback. Let's see here. Dalton Schultz, 3,700 off 7 targets. It's pretty interesting. I think he had a couple goal line targets last week. So yeah, love this game. I don't really love Houston. But ETN's it's probably my favorite play on the slate, and I haven't even looked at projections or ownership yet. I know he's going to be highly owned, just a 10-point home favorite against the Texans, but I don't even hate doing like a Lawrence, ETN, Ingram. You know, we're going to check on Ridley's health. He got his knee banged up. He got like tackled into the goalpost. And Christian Kirk's 5,400. Also, Zay Jones is hurt. Ooh. Okay, so this is actually a pretty interesting team if Zay Jones is out here because that boosts Ridley and Kirk a lot, and that boosts Ingram a lot as well. Okay, let's go to the next game, Denver and Miami. We're waiting on Waddle to clear concussion protocol. Miami's offense is incredible. Denver probably plays slow. Surtain's like a real, actual good defensive player. So, but man, Hill, if Waddle is out, has to be probably a better play than Jefferson and probably the most owned receiver. Yeah, so it looks like Waddle's going to play. They left Mostert at 5,900. Sorry, Mostert 6,000. I can't see apparently. But yeah, Denver's just disgusting. They play like 6 receivers. Is Russ Wilson really good? He gets pressured all the time. I really want to see Achane play. And maybe if Ahmed misses, we could see Achane break out. Honestly, Ahmed looked good. So okay, it looks like the groin isn't that serious. I don't know. This is tough for me to play outside of like Hill. I don't know what to do in this game. I'm sure Mostert's a fine play. Okay, so we have Chargers at Minnesota. This is the most popular game of the slate. I think thinking through how to play this game, this is the highest total. It is a 54.5. No other game in the 50s. The closest are 248 totals. Woo! I think this is the key, skeleton key to playing this slate. I'm going to take a sip of coffee real quick. So I said this video is going to be short. Shout out to you guys. Yeah, I mean, they just jacked up Herbert and Cousins, which pisses me off. It's like they're making the pricing tighter every slate. Just please stop. Eckler's got to be out, right? Yeah, no timeline for return. I don't even know why I clicked that. Josh Kelly, 5,400. That's a smash. Madison off the fumble and the big workload. Probably he was going to project well here. They bumped Keenan Allen. They bumped Mike Williams. I like Everett, but he's like not getting enough targets. Maybe he'll get more. Maybe this is the time to play him. Yeah, 3 targets. Come on, man. I guess Hawks, but dude, Hawks 6,500. Yikes. So yeah, I don't know. Is this game scary to full fade? Yes. Is that a way to have like a plus CV contrarian, lineup that can get you ahead of a lot of the field? Probably, but is it actually net negative EV because you're sacrificing so much? Debatably. I don't know what to do here. I have a bad pulse on the Vikings. I mean, they only play 3 receivers, right? Everyone says this, right? Jefferson, Addison, Osborne. Maybe you play like a Herbert Everett stack or like a Herbert Mike Williams Palmer. What is Palmer? He's 3,300. That's not terrible. I think he's playing like ahead of everyone else. He had 5 targets last week. I don't know. I don't know what to do with this. I'm going to wait for projections. I'm guessing this game is like the most owned somehow, but I don't know how to play it. I right now with like not much of a thought or game plan. I like Kelly and Madison, the running backs, but I don't know what to do. So gonna think on this one. New England and New York Jets. I'm not even gonna look at the total in this game. This is disgusting. I guess Ramondre is like playable. He's like too expensive, kind of. Brees Hall maybe playable at 5,600. Want nothing to do with New England's pass catchers. I think New England's D is interesting, 3,500. I think Jets D is interesting too. Mac Jones doesn't look good. All right, let's quickly go to the next game here. Buffalo at Washington. I'm gonna guess Buffalo is like a 5.5 point favorite. Let's see, 6.5 point favorite. Okay. I like going to Cook again. They bumped his price $300. He seeded 3 touchdowns, 2 to Damian Harris, 1 to Latavius Murray. I think people are going to galaxy brain here too much. I think they're going to say, "Oh my god, like he clicked." I don't think like okay. Here's a I know ball take here. So can coaches and teams make defined specific roles for players? Yes, of course they can. They can easily say, from the 20s, James Cook, you're in every play. And then when you get inside the 20 or get inside the 10, the red zone, James Cook, you're not in, and Latavius Murray or Harris is in. But and that's actually what's been playing out essentially the last 2 weeks. But coaches are human, and I don't even know if that's what their plan was exactly, or if there was like any kind of like variation on that. But like let's say that they're on the 26-yard line, he gets like a 7-yard rush. Now they're in the red zone. Does he just get snatched out on second down or third down? I don't think so. And I think that as the season progresses, he's going to have opportunities to score. I think he can score from outside the 10, outside the 5, outside the 20 even. But Levitan made a really good point that like we just saw his ceiling performance, right? We just saw him get 23 points. I think he can get better than that because I think he can have a similar game with 1 or 2 touchdowns. So I think he has the 30-point game ceiling because like just because he's seeding work, we saw this with Tony Pollard, right? And Zeke Elliott last year. That I was making sure I wasn't on mute. I don't know. All I'm really trying to say in this long ramble is like I'm higher on market than James Cook. So I like James Cook from this game. I guess B-Rob, he plays a lot. I guess Gabe Davis is cheap. You can always play like a Josh Allen. I think this is a great week to go back to Kincaid because let's look at Knox. Knox had 5 targets. Knox had the 5 targets, 10 yards, 3 yards to catch. He had 1 touchdown last week, and he's cheaper. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, Kincaid still out-targeted him, had out-yarded him by a ton. I mean, someone's going to get rich mashing in Kincaid Allen stacks until they pay off. So I kind of like that. I just don't really like Washington that much. Dotson at 4,900 feels way too cheap. McLaurin coming off 6 targets and a touchdown. Dotson coming off of 5 targets. I got to dig in this game a little bit more. See how I feel about it. Carolina at Seattle. I think Kenneth Walker is kind of like a polarizing figure in this industry. Like he doesn't seem efficient so far. I mean, he seems efficient on touchdowns, but then like everything else not. And then like he's kind of seeding some some key playing time to Dallas and to Charbonnet, but I don't know. I played him last week, 18 points at, I think he was like 5,800 was pretty good. I think Seattle kind of sucks though. I also think Carolina sucks. I don't know what to do here. And Jigba at 4,300 is pretty nice. Is Metcalf hurt? Okay. I don't know what to do with this game. This game I don't really like. So Dallas at Arizona. Pollard. It's got to be a top 3 most popular running back. They got him all the way up to 8K though. I mean, he's still putting up 21 fantasy points a game in like huge blowouts. I mean, he had 7 catches last week. Shoo. Whew. I mean, how do you not play Tony Pollard against Arizona? A lot of people are going to do this. They're going to do Cowboys D, Tony Pollard. 4,400 seems like I don't want to pay that, but yeah. CD Lamb had a monster game last week. 13 targets, 143 yards. I actually like CD a lot here. You're in a dome, indoorish in Arizona. They seem terrible. I actually don't even hate like a Dak CD skinny to get leverage on Pollard. I don't even hate a Dak Pollard CD. That's just kind of that's like an expensive trio, so you better freaking score there. But I don't really know much about the Arizona team. Marquise Brown is their #1 receiver at 4,900. That seems kind of incredible. James Conner. Surprised he's not getting targets here. Was Keontae Ingram getting targets or playing? He played a little bit. Is Dobbs just not throwing to the running backs much? Is there a chance that comes up? Maybe Connor's undervalued. I mean, I don't want to play really anyone against Dallas D, especially like against the Dallas D line, but I guess Marquise Brown's kind of interesting if you want to stack this game. 10 targets, seems to be getting a little bit healthier. Not that I really know, but they certainly project to be behind. They're like 13-point dogs here. And lastly, the Pachecos. How much money am I going to lose in Pacheco this year? Hopefully, I'm going to win money in Pacheco. So Chiefs DST is interesting. Man, they bumped Kelsey. No, he's down from 7,600, I believe. So Kelsey was eased back in, and he still had 9 targets. I still think Mahomes Kelsey's are going to win people money. Pacheco had 2 targets and 12 attempts. Just we need CEH to not play at all. I believe Tony's injured, but probably plays through it. I don't know. This is it for the first look. I'm going to come back with projections and get an idea of ownership as well, and then kind of try to get an idea of the slate, and then talk about stacks that I like, and then kind of lean into ownership where I think it makes sense to go along with the field, or where it makes, how can we creatively get different? Maybe look at some projections that I think are fragile or flawed or risky. And then maybe just talk about some like value that I like, and kind of trying to figure out the perfect concoction of those things. Thanks for watching. I'll be back soon.